Linus Tech Tips coverage of Computex 2013 is powered by Western Digital. Our trusted gaming gear partner is Corsair Vengeance, and our trusted retail partner is ncix.com.
It is day 4 of Computex, and we're kicking it off at our home base here in the WD booth. This is the Red Drive, a consumer-grade drive, suitable for applications where you have anywhere from 1 to 5 drives in a RAID environment. It only comes in up to 3 terabyte capacities, though. Okay. So what if you have something like this that accepts 10 drives? What if you have something like this that's just begging to have 6 drives installed in it? What if you need 4 terabyte drives? Well, all of a sudden you're going to be looking at the WD-SE. Scalable capacity as well as data center capacity. So what the heck does that even mean? So number 1 is for high-end consumers, you can use a desktop NAS like this. Number 2 is that because it shares so much DNA from the RE drive, the RAID edition drive, the more traditional enterprise drive, it is suitable for applications such as cloud storage. So technology, it's got a dual stage actuator, which basically amounts to the head being able to read data off of it more accurately, so this is good. It has RAF technology, which basically amounts to it being less susceptible to vibrations from other drives causing performance degradation. It has TLER, which allows it to not drop out of RAID arrays even in, well, difficult circumstances. And last but not least, it has stable track technology, which makes it less likely to transmit vibrations to other drives. All of these things are optimized for multi-drive configurations. So let's head over here, where we're talking about a pretty serious multi-drive configuration. In this kind of an application, traditionally, they would have deployed an RE or RAID edition drive where it's got a 1.4 million hour mean time between failure. It is extremely robust. It is rated for 24/7, 365 operation with a 100% duty cycle. But if your Google Drive, for example, not all of this data is going to be necessarily accessed all the time. So a 50% duty cycle might be okay. That happens to be what the SE is rated for. Also, these customers who are storing their pictures or whatever else, they're not going to be accessing it necessarily, nearly as much. So an 800,000 hour mean time between failure might also be okay. And last but not least, because these cloud storage applications are moving away from being so dependent on RAID and moving more towards redundancy as opposed to, and replication as opposed to complicated RAID controllers, all of a sudden we're in a situation where if a drive suddenly dies, you might have time to, at your leisure, replace it because you know that that data is replicated in a couple of other places. So customers such as cloud storage companies who don't need the robustness of an RE but want capacity might lean towards an SE because it sits in between the RED and the RE in terms of pricing, meaning you can get that capacity you need, you get that build quality you need, but you can save a little bit as well. But what if you don't need the maximum in capacity and you'd rather have the maximum in performance? This is the WD-XE. This is a SAS drive optimized for, as you may or may not have guessed already based on what I just said, maximum performance. It's a 2.5-inch drive which contributes to a couple of cool things. Number 1 is that it gives it outstanding random read and write performance because physically the heads don't have to move as far to read data off of the platter. Number 2 is that it contributes to power savings. You can actually run these drives with an up to 67% power reduction compared to a 3.5-inch equivalent. Now there are some caveats. Okay, so you got compatibility with 2.5-inch or 3.5-inch drive sleds, but you are stuck at a maximum capacity of 900 gigabytes per drive for a deployment like this. So it's pretty much, well, there you go. There's SE and RE for maximum storage space and maximum robustness, and then there's XE if you don't care quite as much about those things as much about storage space, but you want maximum performance and the robustness of the drive is actually better than either of the other two as well, with a 2 million hour mean time between failure. Guys, don't miss any of our Computex coverage. We're powered by the show here by WD, as well as Corsair Vengeance Gaming Peripherals and ncix.com. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to Linus Tech Tips for more unboxings, reviews, and other computer videos.